The road ahead for Kit Nelson is looking bumpy. After 5 years, he's about to be made redundant by the Australian National University.
I'm not expecting there to be 638 positions available to everybody who's about to lose a job.
The ANU has revealed it's facing substantial financial problems, and it's expecting a $200 million deficit this year after spending more than it earns.
Everybody's pretty upset. Morale's been very low. We should be looking further than just getting rid of essential staff.
For those lucky enough to keep their jobs, the university is asking them to voluntarily give up their 2.5% pay rise. Across the nation, more than 1,000 university staff are at risk of being made unemployed, including up to 300 at the University of Wollongong and 200 at the University of Canberra. All this ahead of the Albanese government's international student caps, which will limit the number of overseas students that public unis can accept to 145,000 next year.
Foreign students make up around 33% of all students in Australia, so the revenue impact is going to be very significant. We estimate that universities are going to lose several $100 million of revenue in 2025.
15 public universities are set to have their international student intake slashed, while the majority will be able to enrol the same number or more.
For the prestigious inner city sandstone universities like the Group of 8, they will lose something like 28% of new international enrolments relative to 2024.
Still, the global ratings agency S&P has given many Australian universities A+ and AA+ credit ratings. Effectively, this allows them to keep borrowing money at cheaper rates to finance their debts. But there are conditions.
If they are able to reduce expenses on things like consultants and staff headcount, then we're reasonably comfortable with the credit ratings where they stand.
While Western Sydney University hasn't ruled out job cuts, its Vice-Chancellor George Williams says his uni will be hit hard by the caps.
It's a loss of about $80 million over 3 years, and 24 cents in every dollar that an international student pays, we use to subsidise our domestic students and other programs. Our universities are really underfunded for basic research and the like, and unfortunately student caps are very far from the solution.
But experts say the aggressive pursuit of international student fees has led to education standards falling.
We have classes where everybody in the class is an international student. I have students who don't attend class because they can get the transcript translated instead of having to watch the lecture. I discover repeated attempts of papers that have been written in a foreign language, almost always Chinese, and simply translated into English using an app. These aren't occasional occurrences. This is now the dominant mode of education at some of Australia's most prestigious universities. It really has reached pedagogically ridiculous proportions.
So while overseas students have been lucrative cash cows, the student caps will force universities to cut their spending, particularly on their workforce.
There's going to be a lot of jobless people looking for work in the not too distant future. I foresee it being a hard job search.
Especially with a lot of other ex-uni staff competing for the same roles.